So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist in Am I the Antagonist for not letting my classmate use my artwork for her GoFundMe? So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing down below. DecoyNoise is the only channel that's going to go over just the most drama-filled Am I the Antagonist threads. We're going to give my own decoy court thoughts, where I'm just going to kind of talk about what I think about the situation, go over some top comments and those insane controversial comments. I'll read all your comments down below, and after we've gathered all that information, we're going to do some decoy deliberation where we're going to figure out who the antagonist is and what kind of sentencing they deserve. But I mean, let's just get to this story right now. OP writes, I'm a senior in high school. In December, one of my classmates got into a bad car accident that did a lot of damage. She had several surgeries and is in need of more for her face. Her insurance won't cover it, hence the GoFundMe. I was never friendly with this girl. She spread nasty rumors about a friend of mine, and I always had a tainted view of her. Outside of that incident, I never talked to her and didn't know she knew that I existed. My classmates are sending around a GoFundMe and a link to a t-shirt for sale, and I see that my artwork has been used. My artwork has nothing to do with her cause. It was a Picasso-style self-portrait that was an assignment for class. I posted it to Twitter. They were using it on t-shirts and in promotions without my permission. I got in contact with the girl and her friend who was running everything and asked them to take my artwork off their GoFundMe. At first they said they didn't know it was mine and would credit me. They cropped out my signature though. I told them that I didn't want it to be credited and I preferred it to be taken down. They told me that they already had the t-shirts. People recognized it was for her GoFundMe, and I honestly didn't care. Then they started guilt-tripping me about it, and then I told them I would go through other means to get it taken down. The girl posts screenshots of our DMs to Twitter and directing people at me and telling them that how heartless I am. I am getting tons of hate messages and people telling me just to let her use my crappy artwork. I can't even open up my social media without fear of getting crappy messages from classmates. I talked to my mom about it, and she thinks I should have just kept it quiet about it. And it's hard work to look like an antagonist for refusing to let her use the image. I'm feeling pretty confused because I think I have the right to say where my artwork goes. Am I the antagonist for letting her use my art? So like I said, we're taking this knee-jerk to decoy court, and I'm already seeing that this is going to be a controversial post to say the least, because it's very in the air as to what she should do about the situation. Yes, she's entitled to her, no, it's a guy. Yes, he's entitled to his own artwork and for it to not be placed on a t-shirt to support someone that he doesn't support himself. But at this point in time, it's like, high school, everything's petty. People have time to grow up, and maybe she has a better perspective on life now that this very life-altering situation happened. So I'm not saying like, OP, be the bigger person and just like let them walk all over you. But it is kind of like the mom's right, where it's like, hey, is it right? No, but can you get through this situation without looking like the bad guy? You can't really. And the thing is, like, you'd have to have some sort of, you gotta be tactful about it. Like, the compromise is just like, hey, look, you're using my artwork. That's not okay. But on the other hand, when, here I am trying to flip-flop on the situation. On the other hand, when they just straight up post the DMs on Twitter and all that situation, it's like, you know what? At this point, I'm not going to be attacking the person that was in the car accident. I'm going to be attacking the person that leaked all my information, is bullying me online, using my artwork without my consent. So the idea is they are the antagonist for like posting all the information online. So maybe it's time for OP to have a full on the offensive right now. Straight up post all those messages online saying they're defaming my character, they're bullying me online, they're using my artwork without my permission. Not only am I taking you to small claims court for all the funds that you've made off that t-shirt, you need to start saying, hey, look, you're defaming my character by doing this social media blasting, so I'm going to go after you like in civil court for like, you know, defamation of character. What's the situation where you, I'm having like, you know, panic attacks. You don't want to like belittle what that situation is, but just the idea that it's like, you know, go on the offensive to get them to stop trying to put you on blast. And then also what the better thing probably would be is sue them small claims court, get your money for the t-shirts, and turn around and take that money and give it right back to the kid to try to help her get her surgery for her face or whatever. So it's like, you know, you're still morally winning, but you're also blasting that person. I understand my opinion is terrible in this thing. I'm just trying to think of a what's the best way OP can get out of this. But you know, decoy court is all about, are they the antagonist? And they're really not, for saying, hey, look, it's my intellectual property, I don't want it to be used for that thing or whatever. The antagonist isn't the person that was in the accident. The antagonist is the person that leaked his information on Twitter and is having everybody bully them or what. That's just like a terrible lesson for them to learn, saying, hey, look, You're trying to do something good for your friend, so not only do you have to steal the artwork from somebody else, also shame the person that made the artwork. None of this would be possible without that person making that, you know, Picasso painting for their school project. So it's like they're learning all the wrong lessons. The friend is definitely the antagonist over here. But like I said, pause the video before we move on, before we look at all those other comments, and earn yourself a decoy coin by making a comment down below that either makes me think, makes me laugh, makes me mad, angry, something that calls me out for these terrible things I do during my podcast, whatever it may be. Drop it down below. But let's go ahead and look at that top comment over there to see. Not the antagonist. It's your art. She's not your friend. You're under no obligation to do anything for her. You didn't cause the accident. People seem to think that it's to do with charity, you should just accept it, but it's your work and it sounds like a personal thing too, being a Picasso-style self-portrait. They had the chance to ask you and chose not to. I had to ask, what was the accident her fault or someone else's? And the one thing is, I don't want to go down that situation where, like, you know, obviously she's going through a hard time, so we don't need to pile on whether it's her accident or not, but it's like, that would be true, and I'm seeing it from a different perspective now. It's like, if I don't like... I always use his name. I don't like Cheddar. I don't like the way he is. But, you know, for his cause of using my face to sell merchandise to help him out, and I think Cheddar's a jerk or whatever, that's doubly wrong. Yeah, of course I asked him to take it down. And the thing is, though, is they're trying to make this situation where OP is victimizing the kid that needs the expensive surgery because he made artwork they're using. Like, if anything, the OP's the victim because they stole his work. So it's like, yeah, he's not the antagonist. But let's go ahead and say that the OP came back and said, all I know is she hit a tree. I don't know who's at fault. I refuse to pile on to someone that made a mistake. So X replies, well, I doubt that tree cut her off and swerved into her car. One thing I could say in her defense is sometimes, like, depending on where she lives, she could have been driving down the road and all out of nowhere, a freaking deer jumps out of, like, her blind spot and she swerved and hit the tree. So that could not be your fault, where it's like, you know, she had to make a split second decision. There you go. She had to make a split second decision and then just, hey, I can have this freaking deer ram my car, or what is it, an elk with the horns could go through my windshield, or I can hit this tree. So, you know, can't blame her for that. And the next reply is, I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or just aren't an experienced driver, but in the case it isn't sarcasm. Someone cutting her off or running into the road could have made her swerve to avoid them, causing her to hit the tree. She also could have been driven off the road by an aggressive driver, could have hydroplaned or hit black ice and was unable to regain control. There are actually a lot of ways you can hit something that's stagnant without being your fault. So that is true. Like, you know, we got to see this, and we always got to be fair. The one thing that I like to keep my podcast separate from Reddit itself is we've run into the situation where there's something that seems like a slam dunk, like, okay, cool, she hit the tree, oh my god, can you believe that? And then the top person writes a snarky comment, and the second person says how bad that is. So it just becomes this echo chamber, everybody upvoting that, and that's all you see is those top, like, you know, 22,000 upvoted thing where they're like, oh my god, why would she hit a park tree? It's her fault, she dug her own grave, blah blah blah. And everybody thinks the same way. But it's like, I always want to stop and try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because 5 posts down could be, well, OP saying, hey, look, a deer jumped in her way, or she hit black ice when it was like sunny outside, had no idea, she's in high school, so how would she know that black ice can still happen? Hits a tree, she's totally the victim of the weather. And then nobody really sees that post. Nobody sees the true victim getting their fair shake. So it's like, we've just become this mob justice, where everybody's getting together and getting the torches and pitchforks and saying bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, just because the echo chamber took control. And that's the nature of anything that has upvotes and downvotes, is, you know, you may or may not get the right information. So like I said, we keep all the comments here because I want everybody to kind of see it from, it's Decoy Court. We may not be the most educated people, but we try to give everybody a fairness. So let's look at the next top reply. WTF, not the antagonist. Art thieves are the worst. Look into what legal options you have. If you want, keep a cool head. The girl might try to provoke you to gain sympathy and clarity. Okay, so that's the thing, is, like, you know, they're trying to get sympathy, they're trying to get his sympathy, but it doesn't really care about this person, and it's not his obligation to care about the person. They're relying on him being a cool guy, but it's like, no, you stole my artwork. You eliminated that opportunity. And then its next top comment is, not the antagonist. They even cropped out your signature. And here's the thing, is, there's the most damning evidence right there. They cropped out the signature. They knew it was him. They knew it was OP's work, so they could have gone out and asked him. They go to the same school. They could have figured out it was him and attributed him, asked him permission or whatever it may be, but they just jumped at the opportunity to, like, you know, help this person out. So it's like, you know, it's not an inherently bad thing, but he's not the antagonist because they stole his work. So I'm having a hard time saying that, like, you know, he should have gone about it the other way. His mother is correct in the sense that he should have, there's a more tactful way to go about it, because there's no way that he can do this without looking like the bad guy. But you still can't really like convict him for being in the wrong for saying, I don't want my work aligned with this person I don't like. So I mean, like I said, let me know your comments down below. Earn that Decoy Koi coin for DecoyNoise.com, and let me know that I'm wrong, or just let me know I'm right. Whatever. Tell me that this video sucks. I don't care. Just give me feedback. I'm open to everything. But let's look at those controversial replies to see what's going on. So the top controversial reply was, everyone sucks here. You're absolutely in the right. 2, you have spectacularly poor social judgment. And you know what? They got negative karma for this, but it's true. He's in the right, but there's a social... We live in a society. You can still be justified, but be wrong for the community. But let's read on. Don't shoot the messenger. Oh, I don't like the last sentiment there, but that's true. And someone says, finally common sense, thank you. Is that the same person? Okay, so... And the next reply to that was, just because someone doesn't want their art stolen doesn't mean they suck. Are you one of those people that likes to enable art theft by not acting on it? And it is true, he should stand up for himself, but he does have a point in the sense that, like, you know, his social awareness is low. Like, there was a more tactful way to go about it. Yes, they're stealing from you, but maybe the direct messages sent between the two of them could have been more tactful, knowing that, hey, look, they're gonna blast me later on, so let me just go ahead and protect myself by saying, like, hey, look, it's hard to... I'm trying to get their other to take the friend's side in this, but it's very hard. So I'm saying that the only thing that OP could have done differently is been more gentle with this approach to the situation, saying, hey, look, I know that you want to do this thing. Take my face off the artwork. No, because they already printed the t-shirts. No, he's not the antagonist. That's the verdict. So let's say the next reply is, I'd sue her for damages and collect all the money she earns from her GoFundMe. I'd say that too, but I'm not using that to line my pockets, because that money wouldn't exist without the wouldn't exist without the work that they used to make the t-shirts and put it all together. Sad to say, I guess my reply would be to just go to GoFundMe and say, hey, look, they're using my artwork, take this down. I don't know how they work with like original creators if there's a plagiarism going on, but I imagine they would probably help you with this, because GoFundMe doesn't want to be affiliated with that. And the next reply is, because my friend, you are the antagonist. And that is the thing, is he would be the antagonist if he would try to hurt that. So there is definitely a middle ground, but I'm guessing I could probably read more of these replies right now and kind of flip-flop my decision as to what's going on, because they're like saying that he may be right, but he is the antagonist, which is probably true. But, you know, we're not here trying to find who's justified and who's not. We're trying to figure out who could have been the better person, who is the antagonist, who was being... I'm using the word antagonist to cover up the other word, but who is that other words? So like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think they should have done in the situation. Am I wrong? Am I right? I'm always curious to know. But if you made it this far in the video, thanks for coming around. Thanks for appreciating the content, because I do work hard on trying to make the best video possible. So make sure you subscribe down below to kind of tell me that the channel is getting better as we go along. If you want to kind of help me by filling out some polls, go to DecoyNoise.com, give me that feedback, let me know what you want to see more of, less of. But I mean, if anything, stick around for the next episode of Decoy Noise coming up next.